I just found out why my wedding started late. And I love my husband even more because of it. Chapter 1. Before the rings, there was her. They say you don't just marry a person, you marry their whole family. But no one ever tells you what to do when part of that family hates you. I'm 24, and my husband, John, or as everyone lovingly calls him, Bucky, is 26. We just got back from our honeymoon 2 weeks ago, and for the first time since the wedding, we had dinner with his family. That dinner, that conversation, it changed everything I thought I knew. But let me take you back first, way back to where this all began. When I first met Bucky's mom, I had no idea I was walking into a battlefield. On the outside, she looked like a well-composed woman in her late 40s. Polished, proper, smiling. But behind that smile lived something cold. She didn't like me, not even a little. And it wasn't just a mother being protective of her son kind of thing. It was personal. But Bucky, oh, Bucky was a dream. Kind, patient, loyal to a fault. He believed the best in people, especially his mom. That's why, at first, I kept quiet. I hoped, maybe even prayed, that if I just stayed kind, she'd soften. Maybe she'd see how much I loved her son. Maybe she'd come around. She didn't. In fact, she got better at hiding it. Chapter 2. A smile with a knife behind it. It started small. Side comments when Bucky left the room. Oh, you don't cook. That's interesting. Or, you know, Bucky's ex used to bring us homemade pies. She really understood family. The kind of things that seem innocent, until they add up. And still, I didn't say anything. Not for weeks. Months. But one day, I broke. It was after she told me, smiling, that maybe I wasn't wife material. And I told Bucky. To his credit, he believed me. He really did. But when he asked his mother, she twisted it. Said I was being sensitive. That it was just a misunderstanding. And because Bucky loved us both, he tried to walk the middle. I never blamed him. But it hurt. God, it hurt. I started to wonder if this was what life would be like forever. Her always behind the curtain, and me always being the villain in her private theater. Chapter 3. The proposal that changed everything. Or so I thought. When Bucky proposed, I thought things would finally change. I said yes through tears. He looked at me like I was his entire world. And for a while, I believed that love could melt even the iciest heart. But weddings, they bring out the truth in people. And my mother-in-law, she saw it as her final act. During the engagement, she became even more careful, more quiet. The insults came wrapped in politeness, veiled behind traditions, disguised as advice. And again, I tried to stay strong. Until one night, 2 months before the wedding, I almost called it all off. I was sitting in the dark in my car, outside our apartment, crying into my steering wheel. I didn't know how to marry into a family that didn't want me. I didn't know how to keep fighting this quiet war. But then Bucky found me. And when he sat beside me in the car, and took my hand, I knew. I loved him more than I hated her. We moved forward. Because love is worth fighting for. Chapter 4. The wedding day. And the delay. The wedding was everything I dreamed of. My dress fit like a storybook dream. The flowers were perfect. My best friend, his little sister, was my maid of honor. And Bucky looked like a soldier straight out of a movie. That's actually why we call him Bucky. He looks just like the character from the MCU, only yummier, in my very biased opinion. The ceremony was supposed to start at 4 p.m. But it didn't. 4:15 came. Then 4:20. I asked someone if everything was okay. My sister-in-law just smiled and said, "Don't worry, it's being handled." I didn't think much of it. After all, what wedding starts on time? But weeks later, I learned the truth. Chapter 5. White dress, red flags. It happened last night. We were sitting around the dinner table, laughing about how bad the hotel room coffee was on our honeymoon. Then, out of nowhere, my sister-in-law asked if I knew why the wedding started late. I blinked. No. I said. And then she leaned in and whispered the story that made me fall in love with my husband all over again. That morning, while I was in the bridal suite, fixing my veil and laughing with my bridesmaids, his mom showed up wearing white. Not off-white. Not cream. White. The same color as my dress. A direct, silent attack. Bucky saw her. And immediately, something snapped. He didn't say a word to me. He didn't cause a scene. He just pulled her, and the rest of the family, into his dressing room. Chapter 6. The Showdown. Bucky stood there, dressed in his tuxedo, eyes locked on the woman who raised him. She went in to hug him. He stepped back. "What are you wearing?" he asked. "Oh, it's just a dress," she smiled. He didn't smile back. "No. What color is that dress?" She waved it off. "Don't be dramatic. It's just white." His jaw clenched. "Why would you wear white, Mom? Why today? Why would you do that to her?" Still, she laughed. Shrugged. Said he was overreacting. But Bucky didn't back down. He raised his voice. Loud enough for the entire room to go silent. He told her he now realized what I'd been saying for years. That all those moments, the gaslighting, the side comments, the smiles that felt like daggers, were not misunderstandings. She had been hurting me. On purpose. And then came the words that made my heart shatter, in the best possible way. Chapter 7. The Ultimatum. Bucky pointed to the door. "You have 30 minutes, he said, voice steady. "Go home. Go to a store. Go wherever you need to. But you are not walking into that ceremony wearing white. If you do, you're walking out of my life." Everyone froze. His siblings. His dad. Even his mother. Then he added, "This is your chance. Because if you walk down that aisle in that dress, you won't just lose me. You'll never meet our children. You'll never be welcome in our home. Ever." The room fell silent. And she left. She came back, in blue. Chapter 8. The Man I Married. The wedding was perfect. At the time, I thought it was just a normal, small delay. I had no idea there had been a battle happening just doors away, a final fight before a new chapter began. Now I know. And every time I look at my wedding photos, I see a woman in blue standing quietly in the back. And I see the man who fought for me. The man who chose me, fully, loudly, and forever. Chapter 9. His birthday is coming. And I've got plans. So now I'm here, writing this, because I don't know how to thank him enough. His birthday is in 3 months. I want to give him something that says, "I saw what you did. I heard every word." Something that tells him, "You didn't just give me a wedding. You gave me peace." I don't know what the gift will be yet. But it has to be special. Because this man, my husband, my Bucky, deserves everything. And if you're listening to this, maybe you'll help me figure it out. But for now, just know this. Sometimes, love doesn't look like flowers or poems. Sometimes, love looks like a man standing in front of his mother and saying, "Enough."